I know coding. I know coding. I know coding. I know coding. Hello, gorgeous coders. We're gonna start the third topic under HTML beginner course. So let me just give you guys, such as always, a fast recap about whatever we discussed. In first topic, we just talked about the whole internet is like a bunch of load of files and directories and web pages, and I told you that HTML file is just like a text file that we put our information and then we create all these beautiful web pages. Then also I use Inspector in the Chrome development tools, and then if you remember, I changed the Roblox logo to my name, and I don't know what else you have done with it. I hope you enjoyed, you had fun with that one. And also in second topic, we started to create a simple web page with a simple text editor on your computers, on my computers, locally, even without putting the page online. And then I just created a simple page, and then we just add some image and some other extra activities. Then it was really, really awesome. But anyway, we want to do more than that. We want to make our website online and available, and then a lot of things. So today, on our third topic, we're going to start one of the fundamental and important topic for HTML, which is tags. Let's see what are tags. So that's what we're going to talk about it now. So let us start. Although that the basic of HTML or any HTML document is plain text, as I told you, that is just a textual file, but we need a bit more to make it nice and shiny HTML document. We need a kind of language to use it, some kind of protocol that let us to structure our HTML page based on some rules. We call it HTML language. We call it markup language. Later, I explain more about this markup language. So by now, you can think of it as a kind of programming language. It's still, some people, they say HTML language is not a programming language because it led you to declare the structure of the page. But we know it's a language, a kind of language, the one that I'm going to teach you within this course. And then within this language, we can create the structures, and that's exactly what I'm going to focus on it. So let us start from the first topic, which is tag. But what is a tag? Okay, you see when you put your image on Instagram and then you tag it, or in the Facebook you tag your friend, it's a little bit different than tag. So I want to give you a good explanation. So listen to me carefully. The basic structure of an HTML document includes tags, which they surround content and they apply meaning to those content. So what this means, I have to show it to you guys. So tag is something that contains information like image, text, title, audio, video, and then let that content, which is wrapped between tags, get a kind of semantical meaning. For example, this is a title, this is an image. So let's save the time and I jump to my code and I show it to you guys that what is exactly a tag anyway. So I like to zoom in to my screen, and then you can see what is it here. So as you can see that I just put some code into my KStudio, and then later you're gonna do the same thing, and then you can do it in your own KStudio. So as you can see, I have 6 lines of HTML, and then you can see I have here HTML, and then again I have HTML, I have body, I have again body, and then I have a message. This is Uncle Code from Andromeda, and you know that I'm coming from Andromeda. But what are these things? I'm gonna talk about it now. Look at the first line. So let's see what is the first line. The first line, which is, as you can see, doc type HTML. Okay, we call it document type declaration. Document type declaration. And as it says, it lets the browser know which flavor of HTML you are using. Okay, so that means we have different kind of HTML that you're gonna get familiar with them later. And like many other things, HTML also has version. version 5, version 4. And what I'm trying to teach you is the last one, which is HTML5. And this is very, very important to do it. And you have to stick into this habit to write first line doc type HTML, because if you don't, browsers will assume that you don't really know what are you doing, and they act in a very peculiar way, an unpredicted way. So that's why the first line should be in this way, and you're telling the browser, because remember, browser job is rendering your HTML file. Never forget about this. When you go to a website, and then for example google.com, minecraft.com, HTML behind that website, the HTML that is going to form the website will be downloaded to your computer, and then browser goes through the HTML line by line and render it. Render means draw it and make it appear at your monitor. So it's very important to tell browser what sort of document you're going to draw it, and in this case is HTML. So that's enough for now. We go for the very important part. So look at here that. So to get back to the point, HTML in the way that I routed here, as you can see, this operator and then the HTML is the opening tag that kicks things off and tells the browser that everything between that and also this HTML, which we call it closing tag, is an HTML document. So what are those everythings? As you can see, I selected here. So whatever between this opening tag HTML and closing tag HTML is HTML document, the thing that is going to be processed by a browser. And even look at the KStudio, let you to collapse it. It's really fun because you can just see it in a very fantastic way. And if you click on this, and again, it's going to be extended, it's going to be open, and then you can see the same thing. So this is a sample of HTML tag. It's simple, huh? It's just like a kind of opening and closing, and you put stuff between the opening and closing, and that's all. You wrap things. It looks like a kind of box, okay? In this case, this is HTML tag, opening tag, closing tag. And whatever is between opening and closing are those, it's a content that we're going to ask browser to process and show it. So it's possible to have more than HTML tag. Of course, we have a lot of tags and you're going to get familiar with all of them. And then the other one is the body. So the second tag that you are learning here is the body. Again, opening and closing. And whatever is between the body tag is exactly the thing that is going to be appear in your browser window. Okay, so whatever you put inside the body is going to be appeared in browser window. So to just see how it's gonna work, hello, okay, so what I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna run this code, and here it's by default hello world, but after I run this, something else should come here. So let me run it here, and then ta-da, and then look at it now, it says this is Uncle Code from Andromedas. And if you want to be sure that it's exactly happening, this is what you write. So I zoom, and I add a little bit more Z here and some uppercase Z. Do not sleep, okay, because there are a lot of Z. So then I zoom out and I run it, and then, oops, just a moment. I forgot to save it, so okay. What I do is this. Okay, so I run the code again, and as you can see that those triple uppercase Z added here. So whatever you do and then you run the code, the change will be there. So this is a very simple structure for your HTML document, okay? It's simple, I know that, but it's gonna be really fun soon. So let me zoom in again over the code. So let's see what we got in here. So opening tag, closing tag. Opening tag, closing tag. So as you can see that every tag has an opening part and also a closing part. Opening and closing. So it's very important to see that this closing body tag and closing HTML tag they actually put a clause to their respective element. For example, here is closing this body here. This HTML closing actually here. Well, but I have to tell you something. I have to be, honest with you guys, that not all tags actually they have closing tags as well. Not that means not all HTML tags are like a HTML or the body they have actually closing tag. There are some that they are alone. That means they do the job by themselves. They close themselves. Even if you have a name for them, self-closing tags. For example, one of them is brick line, a kind of a special tag that let a line to be broken within the two lines. And then I'm gonna show it to you. I think it's better I show it to you guys. For example, look at here. This is Unkel code from Andromeda, and if I come here and I write down BR, okay, so look at this. The as you can see, I put a tag BR, and then because they are self-closing, we put this slash, but it's not like a kind of opening and closing. It's self-closing. You see, it's closed itself immediately. And what this does, let me run the code and see it. Okay, see what's happening here? Let me zoom in. You see, this is Uncle Code from Andromedas. The BR is really, really amazing. You can have even more than one. For example, let me put here one, and then I run it, and then you see now this is Uncle Code from Andromedas. So it's just like a kind of when you press enter to go to the next line. But what is important for me, you guys understand here that this is a kind of tag, we call it self-closing tag, whereby a BR tag is closing itself, and then this is really interesting. It's really interesting. So you have to understand that not every tag has opening and closing, especially if the tag doesn't contain some information and data. If it is like that, if tag doesn't hold any content, then most probably is a self-closing tag. Body contains, so that's why we have it. Okay, great. Now, so I let you guys to have some kind of practicing with this little things that I explained to you guys. Then after that, we're gonna go and talk about the attributes. So still you're in the topic number 3, okay guys? So we learned a simple HTML. Remember the line number 1. If a quick recap is the doc type, and HTML, we're talking to browser to know how to render the page, the file. And then we have opening tag HTML, and then closing, and then opening body and closing. And remember, whatever between body tags is exactly the things is going to be appear in the browser. Browser is going to render them. Browser job is reading your HTML5 line by line and then render it over the browser. And some tags like the BR, like brick line, they are self-closing. They don't hold any content within themselves. So that's why they don't have closing tag. It's just like this. They're alone forever. So it's not a kind of pair. Okay, so I hope you got it. Just go and do some practicing, and then we're gonna back and continue the next part of this topic, which is going to talk about attribute and elements. Okay, do your best.